it's good. It's good gig.
I've got a little gig,
Yeah.
and you'd never guess what it is. You'd never guess what
Uh,
it is. I'm the civic chauffeur for the chairman of Dover District Council. So what it is, I go and pick them up, and I take them to these civic events, you know, and I drop them off, and they do the ribbon cutting, or they do a little speech or stuff like that. And I do maybe 2 or 3 a month, and
yeah,
it's
yeah,
I don't know 9 or 10 hours, but it's not much money,
yeah,
but it pays for my petrol. But I
yeah,
tell you, it gives you a real insight into what goes on with local politics, and
yeah,
the
yeah.
how it all works, and it's fascinating, and I really enjoy it. And of course, they like talking to me and about my background, and I tell them
Yeah.
about the crew bar, and they think it's amazing that
Did they check your driving record and your
well,
insurance
I
and
said
what?
to us, well, we're nearly 50 years. I said we were in touch with each other,
Yeah,
some of them even longer,
yeah, yeah.
and she can't believe it. The chairman, she says, I just can't believe something like that's going on. And
Yeah.
I said, you'd have to come into the crew bar. I said, but you don't really qualify.
Hey Pete, how you doing?
How are you,
All
Pete?
right. Yeah, good, good.
We're just talking about our side hustles.
Yeah, I haven't got one at the moment.
You've got to get one, mate. Get a little side hustle. It doesn't matter what it is. You know,
Yeah,
don't get the minimum wage. As long as you get the
yeah.
minimum, get
Hilda.
something.
Yeah,
Well,
I
you're a legend in football commentary, Pete. You should be able to get
Well,
something.
I've offered my services to various people, but that was pre-COVID, and
Okay.
COVID sort of got in the way. And
Yeah.
I was going to train the new broadcast journalists for the Football Writers Association,
Well, great stuff.
but as I said, COVID got in the way.
Uh, hi, John.
Hi, how are you all?
We're good.
I,
We're good.
I know you've got I know that's not Broadstairs behind you, but I think you are in Broadstairs, but you're trying to
That's correct, yes. I'm afraid we haven't got the palm trees or the blue beach or the
well,
blue sky
I know you
rather at the
haven't.
moment.
Actually, Broadstairs is one of the nicest beaches in Thanet.
Yeah, it is, yeah. Yeah.
Lovely beach. Lovely
It's
beach.
well, it's not so large and it's sort of more how shall I say, upmarket.
Well, I'll tell you, we've got a really good week of sun coming up. So I think I'll be pretty busy in Broadstairs next week.
Yeah, it's been quite busy this last week in actual fact.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, here we
Even with the
go.
bad weather.
Now, I'm hoping I could hook up with. I saw your note, Pete,
Yeah,
and I'm hoping I can jump on the train maybe and hook up with you guys.
yeah. Well, we're not doing anything next week, but the week after is a possibility.
Okay.
Pete, did you send me a friend's request on Facebook?
Uh, Not a friend's request. I sent a congratulations.
Yeah.
No, this was last week or maybe a little bit longer ago.
Yeah,
And
that's what
I was a bit doubtful because I think I've had one or two.
Oh,
Yeah.
right, yeah. My Facebook login apparently got hacked, so I've changed all the
passwords. Yeah.
addresses for it. Should be all right now. Yeah, don't answer it, John. Don't
No,
answer it.
no.
I got the same thing, John. And I just ignored it because I've
Yeah,
seen
I
it.
Yeah,
did. Yeah, I thought it was a.
Yeah, ignore it.
Yeah, yeah. So you're a married man now, John.
Yes, yes,
So what's the
yes.
plan, John? What's the plan long term? Is your husband going to come over to Broadstairs and live there,
Well,
or
we're
you going to stay?
hoping is at the moment we're waiting for his passport to come back with his visa, which
Right.
should be hopefully next week or soon after. And as
Yeah.
soon as we get that, then he can book a flight and we'll come over and hopefully stay here until I get returned. We were both returned to Goa then in October.
Yeah. And how are you? Oh, hello. Excuse me, John.
After this.
Mother's coming in from Gibraltar.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, here
So
she is.
to take a photo of everybody. Let's
Can you
get
believe
this
this,
ready.
Johnny?
Here we are.
Dave, Never misses
Right.
it.
Right. So I'm going to turn the phone. Can you just give us a wave, and I'm just going to take a photo. All right, are you ready? All right. So, hang on. Let's have it. Right. Are you ready?
Wow.
Right. Give a wave. Give a wave. Right. I've got it on record.
He's still in that bloody tapas bar that he's been in. He's been there 3 days.
That's got a headache. Right. I'm going to take some more still photos. Smiling.
Still more.
Okay. Right. That's
Charlie,
it. Reverse it.
well, Dave, you're a bit
That's it.
broken up. I
That'll
don't know what
do.
John's saying.
It's just
So I
like
can't reverse it. Anyway,
I reckon the monkeys have got off his aerial.
everybody. Bye for now. So,
We're leaving tomorrow, Lynn. So we'll check out like after breakfast. Drive to Luton. No, drive to Malaga. Malaga.
right, so that's the order.
Alan's here.
Chappy,
Oh, like Madhu. Madhu's going Thursday.
Johnny, what's going on? There's all this weird noise coming
I
in.
got your name wrong, but I hope that we decided it was Madhu, but we thought we got it wrong. So it is Madhu.
Gosh,
Madhu.
sake.
I remember your name very Gary Lineton.
it sounds Welsh to me. It sounds Welsh to me, man.
there's a bit of Spanish Portuguese in there.
Gary Lineker.
That could be Dave, you know. There's a bit of Spanish in there.
What's going on?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Gone.
Charlie, you're coming back to the UK. Are you here or are you travelling?
No, I'm in Leon Sea at the moment.
These are for your memories.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
I know.
And how long are you here till?
Till the 27th.
Okay. Pete mentioned about trying to hook up in London. Have you got some dates that work for you? Because I'll see if I can pick up.
Any date except Thursday coming.
Yeah, next week's no good for us anyway.
Yeah,
Pete said it's no good for him. But I'll have a look, see if I can come up the following week, Charlie. Maybe we can
Brilliant.
have a lunch somewhere. Maybe we can get one or two others.
Yeah, if it's doable.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I'll what I'll do is I'll put some things on the WhatsApp group, and then we can sort of take it from there.
See what's going. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That'll be fine.
Great.
Have you got the Tapmobile
How's
going?
the boy from the valleys?
No, I'm very downhearted, but I've sort of switched off because it's out of my hands now. Once you give it's engineering now. Once you give these vehicles to garages, it's out of your hands. It's and I ain't got a lot of trust with anybody, but I found a garage that I think can get to the bottom of whatever it is. You know, it could be so simple, but as you all know, when you deal with any business nowadays, unless you know them, personally know them, you're in their hands, you know. So he's sent away for parts, and he's told me it's on a back catalogue because it's quite an old vehicle. And he says, as soon as the parts come in, I'll come and pick it up. And he does sound very competent, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed.
Yeah. I'll tell you a story about getting a car fixed. My dear father, long gone, he was a complete snob, you know. So he had his business in Manchester, and he had a Bentley. It wasn't a new Bentley, but it was a pretty good Bentley. So he took it to the factory because something was wrong. And what they do there, they want to get it back to factory specifications. So they were to strip the whole thing apart. This is back in the 50s, obviously, or maybe the late 40s. And it was ridiculous, the amount of money they wanted just to do something simple. So the moral of that is you don't take it back to the factory which made it because otherwise you've had it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember,
Yeah,
Alan was
I've never used main dealers,
Yeah.
a main dealer for anything in my life, because I know I've always had an Audi car, and if you take a car into an Audi, a proper Audi dealership, there's about a dozen people in the workshop, but there's only one with a white overall on. And he's the one that knows everything. All the rest of them are just grease monkeys. But they charge you 120 quid an hour
Yeah.
just to take it through the door. And I had they took it, they had a callback once with an Audi.
Yeah.
And because it was the Audi's fault, they paid for the job, the teeny job, they paid for it. But while it was in there, they took a video of, I had a lovely big Audi A6 Tiptronic. Oh, it was fabulous. And they took a video of the underneath the car, and they said, oh, you've got one of the springs have gone. It's a 4-hour job, 480 quid. And I took it down to this guy who's looked after my cars for 30 years. He's Audi trained, and he done it for 165 quid. I mean, it's just, well, they call it rip-off Britain, don't they? But I think it's the same wherever you are.
What was that the limousine you took me in Sydney from Heathrow to Southampton, Taffy?
No, the one before it, it was a fabulous car.
Okay.
It was all British racing green, like the Jaguars.
Yeah.
And not only the car itself, but all the leather interior was, I bought it at auction. I was on my way down to Dover, Brendan, and I called in this auction. I seen this car and I thought, whoa, if I've got to drive up to Dover every other week, I'm going to go up in style. So I thought, I looked at the book and seen what it was worth, and I looked at the very bottom figure, and I thought, if I can get it for that price or below, I'll add that. So I bought it there and then on the dot, and I done 270,000 miles in it, John.
Wow.
Driving around Europe. I used to get off down in Dover. The car was at the bottom of the gangway, Brendan, we used to park them underneath the ramp. I jump in, drive out of the dock, into the dock, onto a ferry, and I'd go over in Europe, and I'd go right around Europe, over to Germany, Austria, everywhere. 270,000 miles I'd done in it.
Wow.
Right.
I really, but that was value for money, that car, fair play.
How much did it cost you, Taff?
Oh, about 10
How
and a
much
half
you paid
grand.
for it?
About 10,500.
Well
But-
done.
Yeah, only 10 and a half
Well
grand I
done.
bought it.
I always loved his cars, Alan.
Yeah.
Loved his cars.
Because it's, when you think about it, it's like a cowboy with his horse.
I remember when we were on the cruise ships and you had a Lotus.
Oh yeah, Lotus Elan 2+2 John Players special.
That's right. I remember you telling me, and I couldn't believe he had this car.
And do you know, what's his name, the bar manager with the ashtrays?
Frankie Brock.
Yeah, Dougie Bayliss. Dougie Bayliss come up to me and I showed him a picture, because it was black sports car with gold, like the John Players special cigarette packet.
You showed me pictures of it.
Yeah.
The John Player, well, we didn't have cameras then, we didn't bother then. But there was it was all gold leaf all around different parts on the car. And it was like shit off a shovel, mind. It really was a fast car. But Dougie Bayliss, when I come and told him about it, he shot me right down. I was so proud I had this car, and he says, I had a Jensen Interceptor when I was 18 or something like that, he said to me, and I thought, oh. He shot me right
Take the
down.
wind out of your sails a bit. Now listen, guys, I must ask you this because next Saturday, Sherry's over. She's going to be 75, so we're going to be having a little drink he's doing stuff like that. and I've got a few friends coming down. So it's nothing big. It's just a little do. But I was trying to remember what was a Mai Tai cocktail, because I got a friend of mine from South London. He loves rum, and I thought I'd do a Mai Tai, and I can't remember the ingredients of a Mai Tai.
If you just Google it, it's obviously it's rum and
I thought I'd ask the experts.
well, we forget rum, orange
He used
juice.
to use my time mix, Brendan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Mai Tai mix. That's
Yeah,
it.
Mai Tai mix.
Yeah, so get some Mai Tai mix. Yeah.
It used to come in a bottle. It's orange juice, pineapple juice, grenadine, lime,
Yeah.
dark rum, and Bacardi. I think.
Yeah.
Mai
Well, somebody
Tai mix.
says
So they
somebody
can-
says it's got rum in it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I've got
That's the
some
first
rum in
I've
it.
heard about it.
I've got a
Essence
bottle
of rum,
of
Pete.
Captain Morgan's. But he loves his rum. And I said, do you a Mai Tai? And he said, what's a Mai Tai? I said, oh, I used to do them on the cruise ships.
Yeah.
And he said, what's in it? And I couldn't remember.
It's a little bottle about that big,
Yeah.
and it's called Essence of Rum, and it should last you months.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't think he wants the ship's recipe, does he?
I used to get it off Hilda.
Brendan, is there many ladies going to be there?
Well, the present Mrs. Cole will be there, of course. And I've got my sisters coming up. And a few of Sherry's friends are coming up, you know.
Well, you know,
They're very sort of, how can I describe? They're sort of Mrs.
Genteel.
Buckley ladies, you know. They're
yeah,
their
but
husbands,
the
their
women,
husbands want to have one.
the
Their
ladies
husbands
always,
are dying for a drink, but they don't have one because the wives are telling them, you know.
but the ladies always go for the pinas coladas.
Yeah, I know. I'll try and get them. I've got the in the garden. I've got a little shed where I keep all my garden equipment. I'm taking all that out and I'm converting it into a bar. And I'll send you a picture. I'll put it on Seagoing Friendships.
Yes,
Yeah, I
I've
saw
seen it.
Oh,
it
yeah.
up there. Yeah.
So we're gonna have a bar in there. Yeah. So
It looks really good, that shed. It really looks like that's
I call it the Three Knobs Bar.
yeah.
I'm not sure. But anyway, changing the subject. Our crew bar guys, they're all over the place, aren't they? There's Chris in, he's been all through Eastern Europe.
Yeah.
Dave's is he in Gibraltar?
No, it's in Spain. It must be close to Gibraltar. He
Oh,
says
right.
about an hour from Malaga.
Right.
Or something. Yeah.
And Ollie's with his sister on the piss. Cousin, no, niece. Yeah.
I just posted my jag for you, Taffy.
Yeah, I've seen it before. I really like it. Yeah. I really like it.
It's long gone, so I'll take the picture down. Yeah.
It might, you know, it might be the way to go in about 10 years' time. You'll be able to have a nice Jag because you won't be able to drive anywhere in the cars we've got at the moment.
Yeah.
In 10 years' time,
Yeah.
you won't be able to go anywhere.
No.
So, but if you've got an old, like done up car, what do they call them?
Classics.
Yeah, you know, you can drive them. You'll be able to drive them. But of course, they're beautiful cars, especially the old Jags. I love the old Jags.
Yeah.
Charlie,
So-
what are you up to when you're over here now? Where are you staying now at the moment? With your relatives or?
Yeah, well, my brother-in-law, Leon C.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a very famous ice cream parlour along there, isn't there?
Ross's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
Along the seafront.
It is fantastic. Ice cream.
We passed it last night.
Did you have one?
Yeah. No, not yet.
So
Yeah.
whereabouts is Leon C?
South End.
Not far from Bacon's place, is it?
Is it the longest pier in the world?
Yes,
Apparently.
Yeah.
There used to be a little model railway, not a model, but a small railway
That's right. Yeah.
running
yeah.
down
Still
there.
going, still
I think
going.
it still is, John. I think it's
they
still
have
running.
like a tractor train that does it now.
Is it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it still goes.
Yeah.
Is it half a mile long, I think?
Something like that.
It is. Yeah, you're right, John.
Yeah.
It is a mile long.
Jamie Oliver has a restaurant down there, I believe.
Yeah. I'm not sure it's still going, but
No, perhaps not.
it's a very, very famous pier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a shame I missed you last time, Charlie, because I was on the other side of the water from you.
In
And I
Kent.
drove around to Southend because I'd never been to Southend. I
All
drove
right.
along the coastal road, and I thought, oh, how lovely! I'd love to
Oh,
stop
you was
there.
in Canby Island, right?
Yes, I stayed 2 nights in Canvey Island at the
Yeah,
rugby
yeah, yeah.
club in the car park. And
Right.
it was lovely there. But when I drove round to you, I didn't know that you were in London at
Yeah,
that
yeah,
time.
yeah.
And but I must have drove right past your place because it's a lovely bit of coastal road.
It is, yeah.
I was wanting to stop and cycle it, but it's very difficult wherever you go now, parking.
Right. Yeah.
And I just wish if
Especially
I'd
down
have
there.
known you there, I might have found a spot where I could feel safe leaving the old Taffmobile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next time,
we'll
perhaps.
catch up.
A few weeks ago, John asked me about Dave Morgan. And
Oh,
Dave,
yeah.
Dave lives in the same apartment block as my brother. And I checked up after chatting with you guys. I checked up. Well, unfortunately, I've not been able to see his wife Brenda. But Dave has gone into a rehabilitation centre because he's got really bad problems with his legs and walking, and he's been there for several weeks now. Apparently, he's still there, but he's doing good. But it's a slow process. I've not chatted to his wife Brenda, but I'm hoping to. But that's where he is. He's not in the apartment complex where my brother lives.
We drove past the complex where he was staying last week. In actual fact, my brother-in-law and sister were here, and my brother-in-law's sister lives just down the road from there. In actual fact, and we went over to have lunch with them. We went to the Holiday Inn there, I think it was.
Yeah,
very nice lunch there. In actual fact,
and
when we came back, we drove out, and I said, I know somebody lives there. I said, I don't know. He's not in such good health at the moment. Because I was with my brother and sister and brother-in-law, I thought, well, it wouldn't be fair to sort of stop and, they don't know him. And if he's not too well, you don't want a lot of people you don't know gathering around you sort of thing. So I didn't say anything about stopping. We just went past.
And Dave was a bit of a legend on the Spirit of London, wasn't he, John?
Yeah.
I remember there's a couple of stories I remember from Dave. I'm sure John would remember them. Harry Bell. Who remembers Harry Bell?
Yes.
And
I think Phil Butcher was involved in that as well.
And what happened was they decided to stop Harry coming out of his cabin in the morning. So what they did, they sacks of potatoes outside his cabin door. So when he opened
cabin door opened outwards and not inwards,
and he couldn't get out.
Yeah,
it was hell to play.
He couldn't open the door because I say it opened outwards into the alleyway and not into the cabin. So with all these boxes in front of it, he couldn't shift the door or move it or anything. So he was stuck in there.
And Dave used to enjoy a drink up at the crew bar, and then he used to end up in the crew alleyways, and there'd be one or two people having a drink in their cabin. And as soon as they knew Dave was coming, everyone would close their cabins because you wouldn't be able to shift him out. He would be there. Remember, he was at Fountain. Do you remember Fountain Court on the Spirit of London? They had a fountain outside the cabin, and Jimmy McIntyre's cabin, and they called it Fountain Court. And he burst in there one night with Jimmy McIntyre, and Jimmy wasn't too impressed with the butcher coming in there, and he couldn't get rid of him all night long. Drinking.
There's another story with him and Derek Ellison. I don't know if any of you.
Derek Ellison, the head chef.
No, Derek Ellison, but when he was, he didn't do the maiden voyage. It was Lou Menzies, but Derek came out sometime afterwards to relief initially, and they sent a telex to London asking for Derek's waist size because they supplied the uniforms. Well, they sent back 56 inches. They said, no, it can't be that size. It can't be. We'll wait till he comes and measure him. But when
Yeah.
he came and they saw him, oh, we believe that he is 56 inches. But
Yeah.
another story containing Derek and Dave Morgan was they was at the airport in Los Angeles. I don't know if you remember this, Brendan. And they'd had a few bevies, and there was this thing. They dropped their trousers and mooned in a Los Angeles airport. It's a wonder they never got arrested. We think it's because of their size. Nobody would dare go near them.
Derek Ellison was absolutely huge. He was the biggest chef I ever knew. He was massive.
And he was tall with it as well. He had the height. Yeah. He could drink half a bottle of whiskey in a session, in a half an hour session between sittings. That was Derek.
Yeah.
Half a bottle of whiskey and a couple of Cokes, and he was happy.
Do you remember him, Gizzy? Derek Ellison? Big lad.
Yeah, once the chef didn't have an office on the Spirit of London. He had a table in the corner of the crew mess room.
That's right.
That's right.
And
Yes,
there was these chairs there, and he came in after lunch one turn and sat down on this chair, and the four legs just slowly went out, and Derek went down slowly behind the table.
Of course, there was Jeffrey Hawksworth as well. Do you remember Big Jeffrey?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, Canberra, yeah.
I worked with him in the Alice Springs bar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello, Steve.
Good evening,
gentlemen.
Jeffrey used to sleep on deck in a deck chair.
Yeah.
On the forecastle head. He couldn't sleep in his bunk because he couldn't get up.
Very nice guy, though. Very nice guy.
Lovely man. Yeah. He was very funny.
Yeah.
They're all gone now.
Yeah.
Okay. Gizzy, I want to thank you for getting your brother coming a couple of times.
Yeah, I've just messaged him actually to let him know we're on, but he's not replied. Yeah, I must apologise. I've not been in for several weeks, and I've been very busy strumming, and all the bloody last lot of football all Sundays.
Yeah.
And then I had a family bloody bash. It must be 5 or 6 weeks.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's all good.
Yeah, and anyway, I've been all weekend.
Yeah.
This weekend, but I finished at 4. And we were about an hour away. So I got back about sort of 5 o'clock, and I've got everything sorted out, all my gear and everything. And I thought, I've not been in the pig for ages, so I rushed upstairs. Good to see everyone anyway.
Yeah.
I've been meaning to ask you, where's Jamie Vardy gone?
Nowhere, as far as I know at the moment.
He's still with Leicester?
No, his contract's ended. He's left Leicester, but he hasn't got a club yet, as far as I'm aware.
Oh, okay.
I think my gut feeling is he'll go to the States, but I don't know.
Right, I heard a rumour he might be going to Wrexham.
Well, put it this way, Steve, if we can't afford to pay him 150 grand a week, I'm sure Wrexham can't.
No.
Is that the reason he's left?
Well, not the reason he's left, but I think they've said to him, we ain't going to pay you that. And don't forget, he's got bills to pay.
Yeah.
Very expensive life.
Yeah.
And I think he's got contact with Charlotte.
Got court fees to pay, haven't you?
Sorry?
He's got court fees to pay.
Yeah, exactly.
Big time.
He's got contacts at Charlotte FC in North Carolina, and he also had a share of a club up in New York State. Where do they make Kodak, John? Where was the Kodak factory? Near Buffalo.
Yeah.
Rochester.
Rochester
FC, yeah. He bought a majority shareholding in that, but I'm not sure if it's gone bust or not, because I've not heard of him for a while.
No.
So that's why I thought, that's my guess, that's where we'll go, but I honestly don't know. I can't see Rangers paying him 150 grand.
What's the feeling with the Leicester fans? Go or would like to keep him?
Well, I think we'd like to keep him, but to be fair, he's not going to play every game, no matter where he goes.
He's run his course.
He's not going to play every game, and if you're paying that sort of money for half a season, I mean, it's ridiculous. So they, it's come to an end. And it's when he's 30, I think he's 39 when the season starts.
Yeah. He's run his course.
39.
And well, while he'll still do a job for somebody, he still wants mega money.
Yeah.
So that's why I think the only place he'll play him is Saudi. I don't think he'll go there because he's got kids, or the States will pay it him for, I suppose, won't they? Yeah. That's my guess. I don't know.
All right. Anyway, guys, I'm going to get off now. The football's on in a minute, or on.
What football's that, Charlie?
Portugal and Spain.
Portugal and Spain and nations.
Oh, right.
8 o'clock kickoff.
What channel is that on?
Yeah.
What
It's
channel
8
is it
o'clock.
on?
Yeah, 8 o'clock. Yeah.
Is it on terrestrial?
All right.
I think so.
No, ITV.
Oh,
ITV.
that's terrestrial, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got it on Fox over here.
Yeah, I might watch that.
Yeah.
How'd you get on with your Esther, Steve? Sorted yet?
I managed to get it eventually, yeah.
Nightmare.
Yeah.
Going to America, Steve.
Yeah.
Where
Well, we're going to Canada first.
Yeah.
We're going to Toronto. We're staying in Toronto for a few days and doing Niagara Falls and that. And then we're flying to Vancouver for a few days.
Yeah.
And we're doing a cruise, Alaska cruise out of Vancouver
Yeah.
on the Grand Princess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you been on your cruise yet, Brendan?
No, we had to cancel it, didn't we? Because Sherry had to go in for an emergency operation.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know
Okay,
that.
good.
Well, it wasn't an emergency. They said to her, if you don't go, you've really got to have this operation and operation now. So I had to cancel everything. We organised everything through Cindy, and she did a fantastic job. I mean, we got everything sorted out in the end, but it's all about going out to see her sister.
Yeah.
And we went out. We were supposed to go out. I can't remember now when it was, but anyway, we had to cancel everything. And her sister, who's had advanced dementia for a long time, and sadly she died on the 28th of April. So we never got to see her.
Right.
So we had to decide what to do because she didn't have any family. She didn't really have any friends. So it's just the two of her. Sherry's the only one that really sort of kept in touch with her. And they said, well, if you have a funeral, you're looking at about $7,000 to $10,000, and then we had to fly out. So we had to take the difficult decision to say, well, we'll go for a direct cremation. And now we're trying to get the ashes back to the UK. To bring the ashes back to the UK, the prices have been quoted as £2,000.
Ridiculous.
It's more expensive than an airfare, surely.
Yeah, exactly.
So what we might do is fly out, pick up the ashes,
Bring
and
it back.
scatter them in California. Well, we could bring them back, but we're not sure. We're not sure. It's very expensive. All very expensive. And there's no. We have to. Sherry's our only sister. Nobody else can jump in and help out with finances. So we're stumping up a lot, So
Can't you bring them back in the luggage, Brendan? No, I don't mean that in a horrible way, but
no, I know what you're saying.
Come in a box, surely. If you put
that's what we thought, but we don't know really because customs. What you got in this box? Oh,
There's procedures when you're carrying stuff like that.
Yeah. But it's very difficult.
Yeah, I mean, it must happen all the time, surely.
Pardon?
It must happen all the time, people.
Well, that's right. Yeah, I mean, I think what people do, they get pragmatic about this, and they say, well, I mean, the company that we're dealing with in Long Beach, they said we can scatter the ashes for you in the sea, $300. Well, how do you know they're doing that? And then we can fly them home to you. It's $2,800. So we contacted a UK company. They said £2,000. So I said to Sherry, well, we could fly out there, and have a few days in Los Angeles, pick them up.
Spread them there. Yeah.
Well, I think that'll be the thing, John.
You could even bring them in your hand baggage if you really send, on the stuff you take on the plane with you.
Yeah,
You
but
know, I suppose the thing about it is, you know, the cold hard story is, you know, you don't know you're dead. You don't know your ashes where they are being scattered anyway, do they? She asked for her scattered ashes to be scattered in a bluebell wood in England when she died, and we're going to try and do that.
Yeah, great.
But we're more likely to have to fly out, pick them up, and then do it that way.
Yeah.
I wonder why the reason is, because I can't. I mean, it's not a customs thing. It's not a.
Oh, Tom, there's so many costs. So if I haven't got the breakdown with me now, but I mean the breakdown. We went to an English. I've got a friend of ours across the road, a neighbour. She's actually an undertaker. She put us in touch with this company, and we got in touch with them, and they quoted over £2,000.
it's because it's a big business, Brendan. It's a big
I was
business.
just about to say the same thing.
Yeah,
They rely on your sentimentality, don't they?
Yeah.
Without a shadow of doubt. I know it's a hard thing to say, but it's a fact, I think.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah, unfortunately.
You know, you want to do your best for your loved ones, you know, your relatives, parents, and they know that's sensitive issue, so they charge you what they like.
Yeah. You can declare what they are when you're bringing them back, but the customers could always start inspecting, you know what I mean?
Well, I've already told my relations if anything should happen to me while I'm in India, not to bother, just to leave it, be cremated and leave everything out there, because it's not worth waste of money, really.
Yeah, that's my feelings.
Yeah. Anyway, isn't this a pleasant crew bar?
Isn't it tonight? Yes.
Actually, Brendan, I'm glad you're here. Edinburgh, is it the 1st to the 3rd of October?
Yeah.
Is there anything organised? Because we're thinking of coming
there's nothing organised in terms of, you know, where we're going or what we're doing. The one thing I would say is that most people are meeting in Leith.
Yes, well, we've got some really good digs in Leith. You know, at a really good price.
Well, that's excellent, because we're I mean, obviously nearer the time we'll start to firm up on some stuff. But Sherry and myself are going up to Edinburgh at the end of July, beginning of August, because it's the Edinburgh Tattoo. We're going up there, and then what we're going to do, we're going to check out a few places, and we're more likely to pop down to Leith, and then from that, we're hoping we might even go into a place and say, could you accommodate a group of people, blah, 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 all this sort of stuff. So we're going to do a little bit of homework when we're up there. And then obviously we'll relay that information to everyone. But my view is that keep it very, very loose. This is where we're going to meet. We're going to have a drink meet up and a supper here. The next day or 2 days, you know, I think we're going to Edinburgh City and do a tour around Edinburgh City. But it's very much down to the individuals. They might say, well, yeah, I don't want to do that, but we'll meet you for a drink in the evening at the bar or whatever. And so keep it loose, Jimmy, really.
Okay, yeah, because we would. It's easier for us if we go up on the Thursday night, Friday night, and come back Saturday. But if there's a big do on the Saturday, we're quite happy to come up for Friday and Saturday night and come back Sunday. You see, that's why I was inquiring.
There are no plans for a big do, so to speak, but it's all about getting together, you know, having a chinwag and a gas, and then maybe going around the city of Edinburgh together on a bus or you know, and then but we'll do a bit of home. Sorry.
We're planning to go to Britannia.
Yeah, Britannia is definitely.
Well, it's in Leith anyway.
Britannia would definitely be there. Yeah, you're right there in Leith. You know, that sounds like a good afternoon out, or morning or whatever.
What's Steve trying to tell us?
Alice just sent me this book.
Eat, drink.
Can you see?
Yeah.
Edinburgh and Leith.
Oh, okay.
Alice just sent it to me.
Yeah. But what we'll do, Steve, when Sherry and me are up there in August, we might go and check out a few venues. And maybe just identify one area where we can all meet up on the first night. That's what we thought we'd do, and then from there we can take it from there.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so if we just come up Thursday night and Friday night,
Yeah,
that's fine. Yeah, okay. Well,
I think
I'll book it then. We've got a real good deal, you see.
yeah. The first night we're in Leith, all get together, and a bit of banter. and stuff
I
like
found
that.
a good deal for mine as well.
Yeah.
On Ferry Road, which is Leith Ferry Road.
Of course, you've got the Irish contingent are coming over. Seamus is coming over with Nuala, and Noel's coming over.
Oh, excellent.
And I think it'll be a good turnout. I'm fingers crossed. I'm hoping Nevin's going to be there.
Yeah.
Well, Scotty's already booked, I believe, isn't he?
Scotty's he's booked in, yeah.
And Oscar
got
said
the
he's coming up.
break, didn't he?
Is Oscar coming up for the day? I heard someone say that.
Hopefully, Oscar, yeah.
Yeah.
It's only about an hour and a half from him on the
No,
train.
that's right, yeah.
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 Have you got to the end of that yet, Steve?
Pardon? What was that?
Have you got to the end of it?
Are you
No,
drinking
the first
Budweiser? Is it a Budweiser?
He's a Budweiser boy. He's a Budweiser guy.
That's ridiculous in England. The Budweiser.
What do you mean ridiculous?
Well, we don't drink it here.
Why not?
Because
American beer.
Yeah, I know, but you know what it's like over here. There's always
Like Foster's in America, in Australia, isn't it? Nobody drinks Foster's over there. You struggle to find
We
it.
just drink all the shit over here.
John, I'll have to try and get you a can of Wrexham Lager.
Do they still brew it, Tough?
Yes, it's still running, Wrexham Lager.
Oh, they still brew it. I thought they'd packed up and started up again.
No, I think it's always been around.
Oh,
Yeah, because it was owned by Allied, and Allied sold out to Grand Met sold, and I
especially when they get in the Premier League, Taffy.
It's probably brewed at Burton, is it, Tough?
I tell you another thing, Brendan. Because I'm gonna come up to Edinburgh in the Taffmobile, I'll make a 2 or 3 week jolly out of it. So I'll be driving up the whole of the east coast of England. I'll be following the coast all the way up. So I'll be stopping at least for the night in at Fraser's.
Oh, great.
Alan, I'll tell you where to stay. Stay in Tynemouth. Park up in Tynemouth.
There's a place about 1.5 miles from his house.
That's Tynemouth. Go to Tynemouth. It's beautiful. Beautiful part of the country.
Nice part of the country, that is. Nice part of the world, yeah.
But the more interesting thing is, I was hoping I might be able to talk Fraser into coming up to Edinburgh because they like Scotland.
Well, good luck on that. I mean, I haven't heard from Fraser for a long time, so.
Yeah, but they do like Scotland. I know that.
Oh, they love it. He loves his fishing and all that,
So it'd be nice to at least try and get him interested.
Oh, it'll be great. It'll be great. But we'll have to see. Yeah. It's going to be. It's great that we're getting together again in Scotland.
It's a long way to go for a pint or two, mind.
I know, Alan. It's a long trip, and
I'm sorry that me and Cindy can't make it this year. But,
so I'll tell you now, Edinburgh is a beautiful, beautiful city.
I vouch for that. I spend a lot of time up there. I got some good mates up there.
Beautiful place.
Yeah, we really enjoyed it when our ship docked anchored out in Leith, and we just took the hop-on bus into town, and it was great.
You can take the trams now. The tram service is up and running.
Yeah.
I mean, the infrastructure there in terms of transport is very, very good.
But believe it or not, we went up for a day trip in December. We spent 4 hours on the train getting there, about 3 hours in Edinburgh, and 4 hours on the way back. We absolutely loved it. Went to the Christmas market.
Oh, lovely!
Absolutely brilliant. You only spent an hour there, but then we had something to eat. Ended up in Spoons, had a couple back on the train. We really thoroughly enjoyed it.
Excellent.
I need to talk to the crew bar director. I think we're going to close the bar 10 minutes early tonight because we want to watch the football, and is that okay with you, boss?
Yeah, whatever, John, whatever.
I can't help, Steve. I can't help thinking you're pretty flat and low about your football team.
I'm looking into the future, Brendan. That's all behind me. It's past.
Have you
I'm looking
renewed, Steve?
forward. Eh?
Have you renewed?
I have renewed,
I
yeah.
really don't think next season's going to be much better either. I really
Well,
don't.
it depends on the signings for me. If we get a decent front line in, I think it could be a different story. And a new goalkeeper, obviously.
You could have ours, mate.
Yeah.
Hopefully don't do worse.
That goalkeeper's got to go.
Okay.
They're looking at, oh, what's his name? The guy from Portugal, the Swedish fella.
Hermansson.
Goyares or something. Goyes.
You know, the worst rugby team, if you like.
Yeah, we might get something.
They're probably better than Man United's football team.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
I'm disappointed. I tell you what,
Alan, there's always the
really
Lions tour to look forward to, Alan. The Lions tour.
Looking forward to it.
Okay.
Yeah, I was really disappointed with that Euro final. It was abysmal by us. We were
I
abysmal.
think that was the worst cup final I ever saw.
Yeah.
Neither side were any good, were they, to be fair? Neither of them were
No,
any
it was
good.
dreadful.
Yeah.
And yet I'd be interested to hear what Pete says about this. I think PSG have rewritten how to play football.
Tremendous. The way they played against the Italians was just phenomenal, especially that first half. They're playing a different type of game to what we've seen for years. They were absolutely brilliant.
A few years ago, everyone was saying about Barcelona, but I think PSG has just taken it to another level.
And you've got to look at the age of the team as well. They were the oldest one was 27.
Yeah.
That team. Everyone else was younger than that. I think that's the way football's going.
Young.
You look at the Chelsea team, their average age is 25, 26. And all the players they've got coming through, they played one guy this year, 16. So it's the way forward for football. They're going to saw the homebred players or the youth that is spotted playing for other clubs, bigger clubs. You get them in and you go from there. Clubs that have all the old ex-pros that have been knocking about for a few years, they're going to really struggle. Yeah, they were sensational.
The fixtures are out on the 16th, aren't they? 16th of June.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, we're going to shut it down. So appreciate you coming in.
All right.
Okay, Jimmy.
Okay, great to see you all again, lads.
I'll be in touch, Pete.
Okay, Charlie. Yeah, fine. Yeah.
Bye.